Hello, everyone, and welcome to another edition of Navis Nobilite. We are continuing our Battlefleet Baka ship overviews with the Dominion-class battlecruiser. And the Dominion-class battlecruiser is a really interesting build. Um, and if you look at it, you'll notice first things first, it's kind of what happens when you take a Gothic and you slap some launch bays on it. So looking at its stats, it has a pretty standard carrier stat line with standard 8 cruiser hull points, 3 turrets, and everything else being as you would expect out of a normal cruiser carrier hull. It has launch capacity 4, port and starboard lance battery 2 at 45, and your standard dorsal lance battery at 60 centimeters for all battle cruisers, and a prow torpedo salvo. So when I look at this ship, I see a bastard child between a Gothic, a Dictator, and a Mars. It is a very odd design. It is very clearly meant. There are forces here that are pushing you close to the enemy. Specifically, you have torpedoes, you have fighters and bombers, and you lack the Mars's Nova Cannon, which gives it a long-range platform. But you also have these port and starboard 45-centimeter lance batteries. You have your dorsal lance batteries. There is a pull towards the enemy as opposed to a pull to keep you away from the enemy. You want to get in and be able to utilize these heavy artillery lances. And at the 45 centimeter zone where you're at your maximum effectiveness, you're within most strike range of most enemy factions or even Imperial Navy. And given that you have torpedoes, if you want to play the dictator game, well, that's going to be bringing you closer to the enemy anyway because you're going to be directed face towards the enemy to launch your torpedoes. This vessel is a Mars replacement. It's basically what happens when you take a Mars and you just swap the front weapons. You take out those weapon batteries, you take out the Nova Cannon, and you make it a Lance and you make it a torpedo. In Battlefleet Baka, this is your only reliable carrier asset. As you can see, it is wildly expensive and has no upgrades. They are pushing you to not take this. Battlefleet Baka is a fleet that is not meant to utilize carriers, and if you want to use carriers, you have to pay for it. And in this case, you're paying 260 points for it. It's a very expensive craft. Um, in effect, this ship is kind of outshined by the next ship that I'm going to be describing, but it is still a viable gunship carrier hybrid if you are intending on playing Battlefleet Baka. I'm going to move on to the next cruiser, and I hope to talk with you all again soon.